Cecilia. People do it. Birds, elephants, octopus, rats, and even insects do it. What, you ask? They play. We play. Whatever the differences are between us, I can say with some confidence that every single one of us here has played. And I'm going to ask you to pause for a moment, to take a breath, and if you feel comfortable doing so, to close your eyes while I ask a few questions. What are your favorite memories of play? Were you alone or were you with someone else? Were you moving your body or were you quite still? What made it fun? Have you all got a memory? If you do, I invite you to type your memories of what play looked like for you into the chat. We'll take a moment. Mm. Climbing trees are in their art, as per the poem, dancing, playing cards, building a dam, cards and board games, being in a field, baseball, hopscotch. An imaginary world, playing house, stories, dancing, double dutch in the schoolyard, sandcastles. Yeah. I'm sure this list could go on and on. Taking an action art class. Wow. Going outside when it was raining. You've got an opportunity to do that right now. Exploring the neighborhood. C&E Caterpillar ride. So many good memories of play. And it was lovely when I asked you those questions to watch your faces on my screen. I saw smiles, I saw thoughtfulness, and even little glimpses of perhaps sadness. It was meaningful to watch you as you thought about play. I could tell that play is important to you and has been important to you, and I know it is for me. What is play anyway? We all have some idea of what we like to play, and we like to do different things. Play is something we do because we want to, not because we have to. We don't play to achieve anything or to learn anything, although we might achieve something and learn something in the process, but that's not the goal. Play offers a sense of engagement. It has a tendency to take us out of time. And the act itself is more important than the outcome. When we play, we focus on being rather than on doing or achieving. And in those moments, there is so much happening. When we play with one another, we build community. We practice empathy. We learn to communicate and how to adapt to the situation we're in. Play is not typically something we do with a specific end in mind, but there's a lot happening when we play. In fact, study after study indicates the importance of play, most particularly on the well-being of children, but also on the well-being of adults. Play is good for us, and it's fun too. I think that's a winning combination. Of course, we can't play all the time, but maybe we can bring some of the flexibility and open-mindedness and curiosity that often accompanies play to other areas of our life. I think Mary Poppins was right on track when she sang, in every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very plain to see. We know this, we all know this, but we get out of practice. We know play is important for children, but all of us need to play, no matter our age. Even though we are busy with everyday responsibilities and schedules, it's important to carve out time for leisure, if not daily, then at least throughout the week. Research shows that being playful is a key way to get more out of life. In her book, Overwhelmed, Work, Love, and Play When No One Has the Time, Bridget Schultz examines research about the science of play and why it makes us more whole. And she concludes, play empowers people to be flexible thinkers, creative, young at heart, and free-spirited. It provides an opportunity for pure enjoyment, and it doesn't need structure. Play is free-flowing fun that unleashes our imagination. So if we let it, play can transform our attitude and allow us to enjoy life more fully. There's a saying that play is child's work, but maybe it's human work. Maybe it's true for adults as well. So how do we get back into the practice of play? As children, we didn't need to be deliberate about play. It just happened. So here are some suggestions from an article on adults and play. First of all, we have to appreciate and value playtime, whether it's alone or with other adults or children. You may need to remind yourself, as I know I do at times, that play is worthy of our time and attention. Pay attention to what's around you with a special focus on things that make you smile or laugh. Try new things and experience the unexpected. Try something new. Participate in a variety of arts, sports, activities, whatever you can. Sing and dance just for the fun of it. Watch children at play and let yourself enjoy their creativity. And where possible, plan to make play part of your day, whether it's indoor or outdoor, solo or social, active or quiet. You know what play means to you. Some time ago, I learned that a longtime friend of my spouse, Gary, and I, we've known him literally since high school. Every night at the dinner table, his parents would ask he and his brother, "What did you accomplish today?" Now, not what you do today, not what did you learn today, not what did you think about today, but what did you accomplish today? I find that question, at least in daily repetition, pretty sad to think about. The implicit message I hear in all of that is you are judged worthy by what you do, not by who you are. It doesn't leave any room for valuing just being. And these sorts of attitudes persist. Most of us, as we grew, stopped playing, or at least as much or as often. We became more focused on what we needed to accomplish than what brought us joy, more than what helped us get further ahead than what helped us feel fully ourselves. In spite of the reminder that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, many of us learned to feel that play was a waste of time or not important. The fact that sloth was named a deadly sin probably hasn't helped either. But in thinking about this, I've learned something about the meaning of the word sloth. Like so many things, it seems there's been a bit of a translation error. The idea that laziness was bad was something that I, to at least some degree, have internalized. And I'm lucky. My family didn't ask me with any regularity what I'd accomplished. I didn't grow up completely gripped by the idea that I always had to be achieving something. But I was delighted and surprised when I learned that the original concept of sloth was not about laziness. In the Roman Catholic Church, the original Latin term for the sin of sloth came from a Greek word, which means absence of caring. So sloth wasn't about being lazy, but rather it was about avoiding that which was important. Sloth was more like apathy, and in the Roman Catholic context was understood as the sin of putting off what God asks you to do. Too much work can be an act of avoidance. So too much work could be understood as sloth. Too much play, if it's about avoiding important work, can also be understood as sloth. So if sloth isn't what we thought it was, and is instead about avoiding that which requires our attention and care, we can begin to think about play as a spiritual practice. What looks like play, what looks like leisure, can in fact be a way for us to reconnect with those things which have a rightful claim to our attention. Walt Whitman was making a statement about our most essential selves when he wrote in Song of Myself, I celebrate myself, I sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good as belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. Whitman helps me understand that leisure helps us care about ourselves and about the interconnected web. It's about making important and sustaining connections. Play connects us. It engages us. It frees us from the pressing schedule and the to-do list. We like to do it. It's pleasurable. Ironically, play does sound like something we all need to do. We shouldn't make it work, though. Play invites us to observe our souls. It invites us to know more about our true nature and the true nature of the world. What you call play might not be the same as what I call play, and that's okay. Team sports for some, gardening for some, lap swimming, reading, hammock swinging, anthill observing, fort building, puddle jumping, singing, trombone lessons, judo, and backgammon can, if they are done by the right person in the right time with the right attitude, all of those can be considered play. And they can be part of our spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is sometimes defined as something that helps put us in better relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the divine or creation. I think a lot of play completely fits that bill. Play isn't the only way, but it is, I think, an important and valuable one. Play does invite us into a different way of being. When we play, we are in the world in a way that asks us not to take things too seriously. Sure, there might be winners and losers, but that's not the goal. Maybe we learn something. Maybe the garden looks better, or maybe the pianist has a better, greater level of accomplishment. But when we play, we don't actually expect to arrive or finish anything. The winner today might lose tomorrow. The Bach piece we're working on will happily take more of our attention. The garden will grow and so will the weeds without us. When we play, I think we abandon any notion of done or complete. But play does not let us abandon our sense of connection. It doesn't allow us to opt out, to spiritually detach. Play is an encouragement to invest ourselves where we find joy, to invest ourselves, to attach with people and activities that make us feel better about ourselves and better about the world. When we play, we explore. We explore our own thoughts, our own physical limits. We explore the nature of relationships, and we explore nature and the world. When I was a child, I used to spend a lot of time in the ravine behind my parents' home. There was a small, barely moving creek that ran through that ravine, and my friends and I would, in the earnest way of children, work very hard to dam that creek. My friends and I would spend whole afternoons collecting stones and twigs and mud, and then apply them to a spot that seemed suitable to us. Our play would be interrupted by the sound of our names calling us to dinner. We'd congratulate one another, confident that we had achieved something. We had no idea why damming the stream was so important to us, but somehow it was. The next morning, after our parents released us for the day, we would rush down into the ravine and we would find a soggy pile of leaves and sticks and mud, and the stream just trickling by as it always had. Our engineering efforts were not up to the task. We were learning that time and streams flow on. We were learning that water is a surprising force, and that the world worked in certain ways and we were not in control. What would a world without play, a community without play, a relationship without play, or a person without play be like? I was both relieved and horrified that I learned that children, even in the worst places and times, still play. Because play is one of the ways that children learn about the world. They will play. Research has shown that children in World War II concentration camps played games, not to escape their misery, but to mirror it. Adults may stop playing, but children will, in spite of their circumstances, play even the most horrific games imaginable as they learn to understand the world in which they find themselves. When children play, they explore the world. Play is exploratory. When we truly play, we are working with what's around us, with the people around us. And we are learning, exploring the world. I was exploring the force of water. The children of 1944 were exploring the horror in which they found themselves. Either way, play is about being in relationship with our surroundings. At its best, play helps us to enjoy one another, to bond with one another, and to build the community that we will all at some time or another need. Without it, people would be reduced to their utility. There'd be no need for fun or silliness or enjoyment unless we had play, the antidote to being useful. I fear that without play between us, it would be easy to question the motives of others, and there'd be a tendency to disregard relationships that didn't somehow serve us. If relationships were only about what we could accomplish and achieve together, I have a sense that our patience for the elderly, for children, for those who live with disability would be reduced to something less than one based on a belief in the inherent worth and dignity of each person. When we're really playing, not competing, there's room on the team for the kid who doesn't throw so well, and there's room in this community for the person who isn't ready, willing, or able to chair a committee or paint the hall. We learn through play to welcome others and to explore the world beyond our own experiences. And what about our relationship with ourselves? What would that look like without play? I think without the type of play we enjoy, irrespective of goals, we might find ourselves worrying more about measuring up. Not all of us can know 4 languages, hold advanced degrees, or play the piano. Some of us can do some of those things, and that's lovely. But without time and leisure in play, and without loafing and inviting my soul, I find there's a tendency in me to measure my worth against the accomplishments of others. When I spend time in leisure and play, I'm able to recall more of that spirit of easy unself-consciousness that I knew as a child. I think most of us are, in truth, plagued with some level of a feeling of inadequacy. But when each of us finds the thing that we love to do that's for fun, we can begin to appreciate our own gifts. Play has taught me that my love of mucking in the garden, splashing in the lake, and thinking about how to build and strengthen community makes me valuable, makes me lovable, and makes me worthy. And those are things I like to play at. What invites you to remember your inherent worth? What happens when we cultivate a sense of play as spiritual practice? I think it helps us to reclaim a grateful heart, to appreciate the wonder of life, the very fact that we woke up this morning. It helps us to appreciate those who share our lives, and it helps us to pay attention to the world around us. By encouraging us to loosen our grip on our ambitions and our worries, it serves as a call to trust and to gratitude. Play is, I believe, an important element in community building. When we have fun together, we're more likely to see one another, to understand and appreciate one another. It's been hard for this congregation because we've not been together. But I think a congregation that doesn't play runs the risk of fussing and fretting about things that aren't really in the long run that important. I believe play makes us better companions. It reminds us not to be so serious, so judgmental, and it makes us more interesting and engaged. So as we think about coming together as a congregation, again in person, I'm excited to think about the ways we can play together. And I hope you can spend some time today or in the coming days thinking about something you want to do just for fun, because we need it. This congregation needs it, and the world needs it. All work, no play makes each of us, makes our families and communities and our world a much sadder and duller place. Maybe you'll come across some bubbles or sidewalk chalk or something seemingly frivolous in the next few days. I encourage you to stop, to play. Don't worry about looking silly. Let's all find a few moments in the next few days to play, because we'll be better for it. Let's all take a moment and breathe together.